After they made the Proiches, which hung down between the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKadoshim, so it says the Samdas HaShulchan Mechutz LaProiches. The Aron was put behind the Proiches in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The Samdas HaShulchan Mechutz LaProiches, the Samanoira Noichach HaShulchan Hatzela HaMishkan Teimana HaShulchan Titen Hatzela Hatzafin. So the Shulchan was put on the Tzafin side, was put on the north side, and the menorah was put on the south side. Rashi says, where did Mizbeach go? So Rashi says like this: Shulchan Mitzafin Moshach Min HaKois V'Atzfoini Shtei Amos HaMechza was pulled away from the wall 2.5 Amos. U'Menorah V'Adoraim Shulchan Min HaKois V'Adroimi Shtei Amos HaMechza 2.5 Amos. Mizbeach HaZahav Nasim Keneged Avir Sheben Shulchan L'Menorah Moshach Kima Klapei HaMizrach, pulled towards the Mizrach, towards the opening of the Heichal, away from the Kodesh HaKadoshim. It was in between. The Mizbeach basically sat in the middle of the Kodesh. Now, from this Mizbeach, from this Rashi, there's a big halacha that comes out. Halacha, it's a minute, we'll see exactly where it comes from. But like 150 years ago, even more, 200 years ago, there was a big tumult in the shuls. And there were certain shuls that started making the bima of the shul all the way up front, all the way by the Aron Kodesh. Huh?
No.
David was talking about David from the building. Something else. There were certain shuls that they took the bima and they moved it all the way up, right by the Aron Kodesh, right in front of the Aron Kodesh. They put the bima right in front of the Aron Kodesh. And the question was, is that okay or not? So this was in the times of the Chassam Sofer, and it's known the Chassam Sofer has a tshuva about it. And he's the Reish HaMedabrim. He was the first person who spoke out against having the bima all the way up against by the Aron Kodesh. Now, what's the reason for this? So the truth is, we'll start from the source. The truth is that it's brought out already in the Rishonim. The Rambam already says, the Rambam Hilchos Tefillah, Perek Aleph Halacha Gimel. So it goes through how you make a shul, exactly how you build the Beis HaKnesses, and he says, "Mamidim bima Beis HaKnesses, k'sheyalo leha koyre b'Torah." You make a bima, so the person who lanes should go up. So from here you see the bima was a little bit higher than everything else. Or somebody who's speaking to everybody is giving them a shmooze, or whatever Joshua is giving. One thing you see from here, it doesn't say the Tzibur davens there. It's another raya, the Shat's not daven from the bima. You put the bima, when you're laying from, you put it in the middle of the shul. You're supposed to put it be'emtza of the shul. Now, that's the Rambam. It doesn't say more than that. The Kesef Mishnah on that says, they used to build them at the times of the Kesef Mishnah. The Kesef Mishnah is the Beis Yosef, the Mechaber, Shulchan Aruch. They used to build the bimas in the back, over in the back of the Beis HaKnesses. He says it's not such an issue. Why? To have the bima middle is not a chiyuv. Everything is according to the mokam and the zman. In the olden days, with the shoes were very, very, very big, you had to put the bima middle, because they put it in the front or in the back, so people on the opposite end of the bima wouldn't hear Kriyas HaTorah. There are Shmiya l'chol am. Ach mizmanim halalu sheba'avoyna yisenu Bata Kinesia Shalom Hem Ktanim. Our shuls are much smaller. L'chol am shemim yisei noi yisei noihu liyis l'tzad echad maliyas be'emtza. Says the Mishnah today that smaller shuls and everybody can hear anyway. It's nice to put it on the side. It's better than putting it in the middle. That's what the Kesef Mishnah writes. Yeah, the side, it can be right side, left side, back. You don't have to leave it in the middle. That's the Kesef Mishnah. So the Kesef Mishnah writes clearly, this is what the Rambam says. You should have the beam of Emsa in the middle. Lav dafka is Emsa. In those days, they put a Emsa so everyone should be able to hear. The Ramah brings down the halacha also. The Ramah of Hilchos Pesach Knesses says, also when you're building a shul, v'oisin bima b'emsa Pesach Knesses sheyamoy deleh ha'koyra b'teira v'yishmu kulam. That's what the Ramah says also. You should put the bima middle, but everybody should hear.
This is about building a Pesach Knesset, but if you're making it a thing like a shtivel, 90% of shtivels is so narrow that the Aaron Kodesh and the bima are mamish like a foot and a half.
Okay, so we'll get everything. So it says the Emsa Pesach Knesset says to be halacha, Kain mivui b'Rambam b'Tur. So minig kodehu, this is a minig already from a long time ago. U'makayrai b'Masechta Sukkah b'Shakosef Agra. The minig is because it says by the Knesset of Alexandria, the bima was in the middle. So it says you see this minig that the bima was in the middle of the shul. It's already occurred from the times of Shas, the times of the Gemara. The Gemara Sukkah says, and that is the minig to leave the bima in the middle. And then it says like this: the Bir Halacha. V'avaseinim harabim ve'ezer mekaymes partzu minig kadmoinim. The opponents, they broke the minig that the kadmoinim used to have. V'hischilu lasais habimois samach la'aron kodesh. They started making the bima next to the Aron Kodesh. So right now you see from the Bir Halacha that there was a minig to have the bima in the middle. Maybe it was only a minig taka, but this minig comes from times of the Gemara. Don't break the minig. Today people are breaking that minig and they want to put the bima right in front of the Aron Kodesh.
No, not Sephardim. They're more Mashvi.
We'll see who's machron it. Rifnei, so he says why. In those days it was Rifnei Shirotzu Leilech V'Darkei Achum. They want to go in the ways of the Goyim. Like they do in their heichals, in their temples, the current temple it says. In the churches, they used to have the place where the person was speaking from all the way up front. I'm not going to say the other Lashain says over here. Not nice Lashains. And the Poskim come out very against the people who make the beam in the front. Now, a little bit of history. The times of the Chassam Sofer, when they first came out about the beamers in the front, the people who were making the beamers in the front were doing it to follow the Reformed temples. In the Reformed temples, they used to put the beamer all the way in front, and people were doing it to follow the Reformed temples. Chassam Sofer came out very, very strong against it, and the main reason that Chayim say came out against it was because they were trying to imitate from the Goyish ways. A. B. It's a minute. A minute we don't break so easily. I will speak more about a minute later on. First I want to speak about this and then we'll get into Menhagim. Chassam Sofer writes another reason why the beam has to be middle. And the Chassam Sofer writes that when we go around Peshan Rabbah 7 times around the beam, where does it come from? It comes from because the beam is like the Mizbeach. Why is the beam like a Mizbeach? Because it says you lay the carbonates from there. The beam has a din like a Mizbeach. That's the Chassam Sofer's Chiddush, and there's a Mechayrish to it from a Zoyar. That the beam has a din like a Mizbeach. So the beam has a din like a Mizbeach. The Mizbeach was Badafka put in the middle. It wasn't put up front. Mizbeach had a place. It had to be in the middle. Oh, so the Mizbeach Hazor was in the middle, and the Mizbeach Achitzayin, the Mizbeach Hanachoshes, also was the Emsa Hazor. It wasn't up against the Heichel, it had room. How far? Maybe right and left, stuff from Doran, but not from not Mizrach Ma'ariv. Not Mizrach Ma'ariv.
It's supposed to build the solid, but in the middle of it.
Right. So from the Chassam Sofer we see they have to have a bima. They can go around it like the Mizbeach, at least like the Mizbeach HaChitzon. So even if you don't want to put it smack in the middle of the Beis HaKnesses, they have to at least leave room to be able to go around it when the kol goes around it. So the bima has to be in a place that there's room to go around it. So the truth is, most shuls today, big shuls, have the bima up front, but not all the Aron Kodesh. They have it, it's a nice couple of feet away from the Aron Kodesh. They have no one sits in between the bima and the Aron Kodesh. But as long as there's room to go around, that's okay. As long as there's room for people to walk around the bima, then it's okay. Those that make the bima up high with the Aron Kodesh, that means the Aron Kodesh is higher up, and the bima is on the same platform as Aron Kodesh, there also could be an issue. Because it's not part of the shul. It's really part of the stage of the Aron Kodesh. So most bimas today are okay. The Hasidim were very, very makbid of this, because some Sefer came out against it. It's interesting to know that, like 150 years ago, a lot of people moving to Eretz Yisrael, some Baruch, I guess in Eretz Yisrael, weren't doing it the way they were supposed to be building it. And there was a Kol Korah that came out, signed by 100 Rabbanim, with a list of 10 things, I think it was 10 things, you have to be makbid on when you build a shul. Now if you look through the 10 things, it's interesting, because most of the 10 things today, we're not makbid on it. We're not makbid. And the question is where it got lost. It was mainly the Hungarian Rabbanim that signed it. One of them was a Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. There was Gedolim and Chashuvim that signed this Kol Korah. And one of the things that was in it was that the bima has to be in the middle of the shul. You can't put it up close to the Aron Kodesh. That was one of the things. One of the things was you can't dash in the shul with the Goyish language. You have to dash with the Jewish language, which today I don't remember. There was one against it. Oh, you have to have it. No, there are different sewers that were building it. So they came out. So they came out very against having of emsa. That's when you find the last cities of shuls. They're very makbid. The bima, between the bima and the Aron Kodesh, there should be benches, people sitting. The makbid, there should be people sitting between the bima and the Aron Kodesh because of this hakpada. Because if you're not doing it be'emsa, at least have people sitting there, so it looks like it's be'emsa. But in Allah it says that the bima has to be be'emsa. Be'emsa means the middle. Most shuls don't have it in the middle. Most shuls don't have it in the middle.
They don't have benches afterwards.
Right, there are benches afterwards. Which is where it comes from. The makbid not to have. There's no reason to be makbid not to have. There's no reason to be makbid not to have. If anything, you should be makbid to have. But not makbid not to have,
maybe the reason
that you don't find.
During the laning, people have their backs.
Okay, so. Okay, let's say anything wrong with that. Bima used to be be'emsa. It says in Allah, Bima was be'emsa. Obviously, people were sitting past the Bima. Between the Bima and the Aron Kodesh. So, Allah Chassidus was the very makbid to have the Bima in the middle. Like this in Allah. The Moshe has a tshuva. Someone sent him a shayla as they're building a shul. And they're renovating the shul, and they want to move the Bima towards the front. What should they do? And the Moshe says they should not change it. They should leave it exactly where it was. They shouldn't move it up towards the front. The next shul we had, someone asks him, is he allowed to daven in a shul where the bima is up front by the Aron Kodesh? He's allowed to daven in a shul. Now, in that Kol Korah that came out 150 years ago, it says that any shul that has the bima in front by the Aron Kodesh has a din like a Beis Avodah Zarah, and you're not allowed to walk in there. That's how strong they came out against it. They wrote any shul that has it up front has a din like a Beis Avodah Zarah, and it's also to walk into there. You can check, look at how to have it. It's printed this Kol Korah. So that's a little bit to the extreme, but they came out with that Kol Korah. So Moshe tells him that definitely we can't ask her to walk into a shul that has the bima up front. But he says if you have a choice, you have two shuls to daven in. One shul has the bima up front, and one shul doesn't. You're better off davening in the shul that doesn't have the bima up front. That's how much comes down in the shul. I'd like to see it in the Bialacha. All our friends all go and say that the bima should be be'emsa. It should be up front. So to have akpada, not to have chairs in front of it, I'm not sure where that comes from. This is all, if it's an ikr hadin. Some Sefer says it's a din, ikr hadin to have a be'emsa. The Noda B'Yehuda, when he speaks about it, he doesn't say me'ikr hadin, But he says that it's a minhag to have the bima b'emtza, and you should not break a minhag. And that's more like what the Biur Halacha says also. There's a minhag to have the bima b'emtza. Don't change the minhag unless you know you're allowed. So you see, they're very makbid on the minhag. So I'd like to speak a few minutes about what the cheshivas of a minhag is, and it's not so simple to go ahead and to change a minhag. The minhag in a place is a certain way. You never know what the reason is, and therefore you don't change it. I'll read to you a Ramah. There's a Ramah in Hilchos Megillah. You know there's a minhag during Megillah laning that when they say Haman, the kids make noise. Now some people don't like it, and they get upset, and they shishka the kids. And I happen to know of a minyan, not far from my house, down south, that's called the no clap minyan. So no clap minyan, no clapping Haman. There's no clapping Haman because they just land the Megillah straight. There's no clapping minyan, no clapping Haman. I would say you're not allowed to walk into such a minyan. That's what I would say. Why? It's a Ramah. What does the Ramah say? The Ramah says, to make pictures of Haman on wood and stones, to write the name Haman, they hit them against each other to show that you're erasing his name. That's where the minhag comes from. And when they say Haman's name in Beis HaKnesses, we clap. It's called we clap Haman. That's what it's called. We clap Haman. Bang Haman. Says the Ramah, Ve'ein levatel shum minhag v'lilag olav. Do not be mevatel any minhag or to laugh at it. Ki loy lechinam hukfu. A minhag was not for no reason. Every minhag has a reason. If there's a minhag to do something, you want to be oiker the minhag, you can't be oiker a minhag. You can't uproot a minhag, you can't go against the minhag. There's a minhag, you may not understand it, but you gotta leave it. So the first Ramah, that you're supposed to clap Haman. So people make a minhag that the B'dafka don't clap Haman. I don't know.
That's how they made it. That's their minhag.
No.
They established the minhag. That community.
No, you can't. No, you can't establish. It's a minhag. It's a minhag in Klal Yisrael. It's a minhag in Klal Yisrael. And the truth is, exactly how you establish a minhag, when a minhag becomes established, that's a share in itself. But everyone agrees that the minhag, the clap Haman, the bang by Haman, is in a minhag in Klal Yisrael all over. It's a minhag all over Klal Yisrael. There's no place that has a minhag not to clap by Haman. These people don't like it. But there's definitely a minhag in Klal Yisrael. You can say, you're going to start a minhag, you have the beam in the front. Right? You can't. The minhag is not that way. The minhag in Klal Yisrael is a certain minhag. There's certain places that have their own minhagim. And how a minhag gets established, it's a different time we can speak about it. But definitely there's certain minhagim that the whole Klal Yisrael has. You want to uproot such a minhag, you can't do it. You can't do it.
What if they have the first and the last Haman?
That's also uprooting a minhag. The minhag was every Haman. The minhag was a clap for every Haman. It's okay. So you want to do it, you want to make it a little quieter, you should make it so loud, it's fine. But to say no clapping for Haman, it's a Ramah. So Moses, that was the minhag. There ain't little go and don't be mevatel a minhag.
Adult only.
Even if you have an adult only minyan, so you just bang your foot. It doesn't say you have to have.
The minhag was no.
Yeah, okay. The minhag was tonight, right? You can die. The minhag was only kids doing, not adults. Yeah, it could be. That maybe not being okay the minhag. But the Skol said, no one's allowed to clap Haman. The Chayr is being okay minhag. And people don't realize the severity of changing a minhag in Klal Yisrael. People think when hugging, okay, if I do it, it's fine. If not, not. So I want to tell you two things. One thing, a Lashon HaRamah, and then I'll tell you a story with the Ramah. The Lashon HaRamah is, because the Ramah b'tshuva Siman Yatas, b'shem Arik, Sheish Kufam Dalet, the Nimtza HaMinhag B'ez Poisik, if you find the minhag brought down, not that we're not sure if it's really a minhag, an established minhag, Ein levatloi, afilu b'shas adchak, ve'ein l'shanos. Then it says even more. Fafilu yesh b'minig tzad iser. Even if this minig sounds like it's an iser, you're doing something wrong with this minig, ain't levatloi. Don't be mevatel the minig. If you know the minig comes, like it says over here, fafilu yesh b'minig tzad iser, fafilu b'minig makom afra minig shemevat halacha, even though it's mevat halacha, you can't do it. Because you know this minig comes from old sources, and it has mekayos to it. You may not know the mekayos to the minig. Still, you're not allowed to be mevatel a minig. So the Ramah say a minig that even looks like it's going connected to halacha. Still, you can't be mevatel.
That's why you have a parent's minig, even though you don't.
Yes, if someone has a minig in his family, and learn the halacha seems differently. If you know the minig has a makar,
it's like a brush.
Yeah, Baruch has a makar. If you know the minig has a makar, you have no right to go ahead and change the minig.
Where do we learn this from?
Well,
where do we learn this?
From the Ramah.
Where does he learn it?
They bring up Haltitus Tavis and Mecha. They have psukim to it. They have psukim for it. But you cannot go ahead and change a minig or break a minig without a reason. And I say a joke. I had this from Yankel Muller. I don't know if you know here. It says, how do you know a minig breaks a din? Because the halacha is when you borrow money, you have to pay it back. And the minig is that you don't. That's how you know a minig breaks a din. but the Ramah says that a minig, even though it looks like it's breaking a halacha, you can't change it. You can't change a minig. I'm going to tell you a story with the Ramah. The story is brought down. The Ramah, when it came to, this is all the Ramah. The Ramah, when it came to, I think it was the Krakow, I'm not sure what city it was, one of the cities he was in, and he came there, and the minig of the mokum was that a lady, when she toiveled at night, so the mikveh lady, the one who took the ladies to the mikveh, her husband was the gabbai in the shul. He was the gabbai in the shul. He used to go around collecting by chakras every morning with a pushka. And the morning after any lady toiveled, so he would whisper into that lady's husband's ear, Mazel Tov. That was the minute. That was the minute in the place of the Ramah. He came in. He came in and whispered Mazel Tov. The Ramah came to him, he found out, and he says, sorry, the minute is over. It's a nice thing to do. He's Mazel the minute. The Ramah wasn't Mazel the minute. But here was one day that I heard the story go away, exactly how the story went. There was one day that a person, the Ramah found out, I don't know exactly how it was, the Ramah found out that there was a certain lady who said she went to Taiwan, it was very cold, didn't have warm mikvahs like today, and she didn't want to Taiwan because it was too cold. So she left the house for an hour or two, and she came back home. She told the husband she Taiwan, and she didn't. And they lived together with Issa. The Ramah found out about it. And the Ramah said, now we understand Pshat in the minute. Because if the husband didn't get a matzav the next morning, then he may have a question, what's going on here? So the ladies were scared not to go to the mikveh, because they knew the husband would find out about it the next morning. So then he brought back the minute. He reestablished the minute. No, but the ladies will be scared to do it. They know the husband will find out about it. They know the next morning the husband will find out. Yeah. So they'll be scared, They'll be scared not to go.
Don't they give you a receipt now when you go to the
Could be, Could be, I don't know. Today it's not such an issue. Not such a big discussion like it used to be. But then it was a big discussion. So the more reinstituted the minig in the city. And the Ramah says, and that's why you find a lot of times in the Ramah, it says, there brings a minig, and that's a minig in our city. It doesn't explain why. And the reason is because a minig is a minig. You can't go ahead and break a minig without a reason.
So for those, let's say that you could get out of the minig doing a Torah Nedarim, is there any basis for that?
You can't do a Torah Nedarim on a minig. You can't do a Torah Nedarim on a minig. A Torah Nedarim was...
But your minig.
Yeah, if you... That's not called a minig. If you accepted the Torah Chumrah to do something, and you're doing it, you can't just go ahead, and then you could go ahead and be mataneder. But there's a certain minhagim that weren't really established. People did it for a chumrah. Exactly how, which minhagim you mechuyev to keep, and which minhagim you're not mechuyev to keep, that's a whole passion itself. It's a whole passion itself. Sometimes people never took it upon themselves as a minhag. They did a chumrah. It wasn't a minhag. They didn't do it as a minhag. They took it upon themselves as a chumrah. So just because my father took upon himself a chumrah, I'm mechuyev to go after my father's chumrah. It's not enough. The person is not mechuyev to take on all his father's chumrahs.
Because Gebrach is that example, right?
Yeah, so Gebrach...
People took it on themselves, people didn't take it
right, but Gebrach is already a minhag, and there's a reason for the minhag. And certain communities accepted upon themselves. Now the question is, I'm not part of that community anymore. I'm still mechuyev to go after that minhag. So that's a whole separate parsha. When you meshubed, when you have to go after a minhag, and when you don't have to go after a minhag. That's a whole separate parsha. Not every time that there's a minhag, that your father had a minhag, are you mechuyev to go after your father's minhag. That's a whole complicated thing. It's not for a regular achas. But definitely, people have this. I'm not sure why, but they feel like they could. A minhag, okay, it's only a minhag. I don't have to worry about it. It's not true. You have to worry about a minhag. But they say that halacha is stronger than a minhag. Sorry, that a minhag is stronger than halacha. Right? It's not stronger than halacha. If the minhag has a makar to it, even though it seems like it's connected to halacha, you're not going to stay with the minhag. Why? Because a minhag is very important. You don't know where it comes from. But you can't go ahead and start a minhag which is connected to halacha. We have no right to start minhagim, but to take on minhagim that we don't know about, and take on minhagim that's connected to halacha, that we can't do. We're talking about minhagim that were established in Klal Yisrael. Everybody has the minhag. Then already you can't just go ahead and ignore the minhag.
The difference though between a minhag that was accepted in Klal Yisrael versus a minhag that's accepted in various communities.
Correct.
So we came to North America all of a sudden after Muhammad, everybody has.
Correct. That's what sadly is. Certain things are minhagim amokim. It's a minhag amokim. So a minhag that Klal Yisrael has, that it's not shadow. Everyone has to keep it. Certain minhagim amokim. So it is a minhag amokim. There's a whole period in the Psachim, the fourth period from Psachim. Mokim shenohagu. Place that has a minhag. You come into a certain place that has a minhag. You do what the minhag is over there. You can't go ahead and do differently. You come from a place that has minhagim. You have to keep that minhag also. Someone comes to a shul, and a shul has a certain minhag of the way they daven, and you want to daven differently. It's also to do that. A shul is called a makom, a minhag makom. The shul has a certain minhag to do a certain thing a certain way, and you want to do it differently. You can't do that. It's also to do it, because that's the minhag makom. It comes like halacha. The minhag makom is certain things you can't change it. And if you have your own minhag, but you come to a place that has a minhag that's connected your minhag, you can't go ahead and go according to your minhag. Now let's just go. How much is going to do? Let's just do it. I'm doing it in public. I'm not doing it privately. I'm not doing it privately. The putting on tefillin, not putting on tefillin. These shilas of what's just going to do. They say today Tamat doesn't exist because everyone does what they want, and we have a whole cholim pot, all different types of people, different in every shul. But if the shul has a minhag and you're davening for the amid, and you want to do something different than the shul's minhag, you can't do that. It's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. You come to a shul, and the makbid that you should wear a gartel for the shul. The makbid you should wear a gartel you daven for amid. You got to do it. You have to do it. That's what the makbid in that place. You have a choice. Daven in a different shul, or don't daven for amid. You can't go and say, no, my minhag is not that. I'm not going to do it. You can't do that. A minhag in a place is very, very important.
That apply too when you're saying Kaddish? People come into experience and
a guy will say, you can't.
No, but I'm saying, a guy just saying Kaddish for a chiyuv. Like he's I'm saying with everybody.
Doesn't make a difference. You don't say Yasam for Kaddish. You should not be saying Yasam for Kaddish. The same thing is someone down with Ashkenaz and goes to a Sfarad meeting. This guy says Yasam for Kaddish. You can't do what you want in every shul. The shul has a minhag. I was here recently.
We'll say extra words by
I know.
They say it out loud.
And everyone else waits while
I know,
they say it.
So the question is,
based on what you're saying, it should be done.
No, they could do it. Even if they daven in a different place.
I think
to me it's a chiddush.
It doesn't seem.
To me it's a chiddush. I was here recently by a chasana. I was shuha down with Ashkenaz, and I was here. There was a chasana. The Minsk Rebbe was here for chasana, and we made him his own minyan, private minyan in the room. And we said, okay, well, davening's fine. And I started davening. I said, what are you davening? I said, davening's fine. What's the minyan of Malcolm over here? I said, the minyan of Malcolm is Ashkenaz. Okay, we're davening Ashkenaz. They had their own minyan, a private minyan. Everybody was davening in the minyan was either his kids or his grandkids, and daven Ashkenaz. Why? Because this place, the minyan of Malcolm in this shul is daven Ashkenaz. Shliach tzibur, yeah. You privately you can do what you want. Privately you can say whatever you want. So it's Shliach tzibur. Daven Ashkenaz. It's the minhag hamakom. You can't go ahead and change minhagim. Minhag is very, very important. Baruch Hashem, today we have plenty of svarim written on all minhagim. Anybody wants to check if a minhag has a source? There used to be that we didn't mix together so much. So every place had one minhag, two minhagim, they had their minhag, whatever it was, and they didn't even hear about other minhagim. They didn't even hear about other minhagim. Whatever the minhag was. My grandfather had a story once. I don't know if I ever said this over here. We come from, we don't make gebrachts. So my grandfather once had a story. He grew up in Poland, and they didn't know anything about gebrachts. No one ate gebrachts. Who ate gebrachts? You never allowed to eat it. So my grandfather was built Chaim Berlin, the old Chaim Berlin building. He was a contractor, so he built it. So a friend invited him for Kiddush the first day of Pesach. So after davening, my grandma told my father to go home. If you want, my father was interested in going to the friend's house for Kiddush. He was a kid then. My grandfather said, "Okay, I'll be home soon. I'm going to the friend for Kiddush." My father comes home. Within a couple of minutes, my grandfather comes into the house, and he's white like a ghost. My grandma says, "What happened? What's the matter?" It's Chaimulus Life. They never believe it. The Rosh Hashiva. He eats gerochs. He had knedlach on his table on Pesach. You believe the thing? The Rosh Hashiva had knedlach. He walked into the house. He saw knedlach. He turned around and he left. They didn't trust him. Why? They didn't know anything different. The minhag there was in order gerochs to them was chametz. Gerochs to them was like it's chametz. That was when everyone had their own hagim. No one knew what everyone else was going to hug him. It worked out well. And it was very good that way. But today that we have such a trouble pot, everyone's doing different things. There's a lot of confusion about what's a minhag, what's not really a minhag, and what's a minhag by mistake. Baruch Hashem, there's plenty of svarim today that for every minhag there is, they bring down a kovis to every minhag. It's kedai if someone has been hugging in his family to know what the minhag is and to know what the makar of the minhag is, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised when you look through the minhagim that people have, what the makaris of minhagim are. You'll be surprised how much meaning there is to so many minhagim that we have. Halachas, a lot of halachas. That's halacha, we may understand it. You have to go through a hard sugya to get the halacha. You may not understand it. Minhagim is not that way. Minhagim, I've heard this said many times, minhagim keeps Klal Yisrael going. Because minhagim have meanings to them, they have explanations to them, and it's not just the exact halacha that we do. Everything we do has a reason for it. Whatever we're doing has a reason for it. And if you're doing it, you check into the reason why you're doing it. Don't say, maybe there's no reason for doing it, and stop doing it. We don't do that. First you check into it.
Sometimes people fall and make faster than the
Yeah, because it's easy to find the reasoning.
It's a hurry also.
Yeah, it's a hurry. But minhag tzavach that in. The minhag breaks it in, they say, right? That's the Terumah here. The Ramah Tshuva says the minhag sometimes, if it's keneged halacha, you're mechuyev to keep the minhag. If you know there's a good reason for it.
Just curiosity. There's a shul is davening Nusach Ashkenaz, and somebody, an individual, is davening Nusach Sfard, and now then he has to sit Shiva. And has a minyan at his home from the members of the shul.
No, in his house you could do Sfard.
His house.
Yeah.
Even though everybody coming there is from the shul in the same community.
Doesn't make a difference. His house, you daven Sfard.
His rules, his regulations.
Yeah. His house has his own regulations, yeah. So it's kedai. If anybody has any hagim they're not sure about, and they want to check into it, let me know. We can find reason for every single minute. Come on. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised when hagim have makaris and they have reasons for them. It's kedai keep them. It's kedai check them.
Shkoyach.